I was thinking about the thing with J.R. Martinez, and I was looking at that. Okay, he's a soldier who served in Iraq, and he even brought up how is he going to make it in this looks-based culture, and I'm thinking to myself, well, the thing is, too, I gotta remember that he served in Iraq, so that's part of why he's getting a break, and also he's a guy, and I have to remember, and I may have noted this before, look, if you were not born disabled, that's one thing, and especially if you were disabled because of some noble that you did, people are going to give you a lot more sympathy, especially if you're a guy, and guys can get away with anything, and Ruben stuttered. He's an example of who can basically get away with anything. Same with Michael Moore. Both of them aren't exactly what we would consider culturally lookers or anything. And I'm just thinking to myself, as a girl who is born disabled, I'm pretty much, there's no nicer way to put it, I'm screwed, unless by a miracle. And that's part of the fight that I've been having lately, unfortunately, with my mom. She just doesn't get it. She doesn't get some of the stuff that I really deal with because I was born disabled and because I'm a woman. And as I said, it's just, if J.R. Martinez had to worry, and he's a guy who went over and served in Iraq, about how he was going to make it being disabled, how am I, born a woman who was disabled, how am I, who's basically on the lower case of society, how am I going to climb up from here, I guess, the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest rung on the ladder of society to even remotely near here, if I'm even lucky to climb up anywhere on the ladder at all. And so I gotta remember that with every positive, heartwarming story, and where there's hope for the disabled, I gotta remember, oh, there's that little backside that they're not telling you. And also, it always comes down to the same thing with, again, the men can get away with anything, especially if they were not born disabled, and especially if they were disabled because they did something noble. Whereas a woman who is born disabled like I am, as I said, is pretty much screwed.